Hello, hello, hello. Shuprabat. I hope I said it right. I learned that in Hindi. So try my best. What's going on, people? I wonder where you are in the world right now. Are you at school, on your lunch break, at work, or you sitting at home somewhere chilling? Whatever you're doing, I hope you're having a good Monday so far. I got a bit of a sore throat, so I do apologize. But for those who don't know, my Unified podcast brings you life advice for us to stay unified in our world that needs a bit more positivity and happier faces. That's the simple motto. And as always, remember, this podcast goes to all ages, young and old, all races, all countries. Doesn't matter who you are or where you are. We're all one in this world together. So let's help each other build a better day and a better future filled with positivity. So, on the previous episode last week, we looked at New Year's resolution and how to stay positive to help you achieve those goals you set. If you missed it, make sure you check it out. And if you're enjoying my Unified podcast, make sure you subscribe, hit a like, and hit the notifications icon. Today, let's think about it, okay? Something that we all go through and have at least gone through it more than once in our lives. Loneliness. Yes, I said it. Loneliness. That feeling of being all alone, deserted, lost, without anyone by your side. That sad feeling of loneliness. So, firstly, let's make it clear. There are two types of lonelinesses, the negative loneliness and the positive loneliness. There is a difference. And I'll get into this more on a future episode, but for today's topic, we're only sticking to the negative loneliness. The loneliness you don't desire and you didn't wish for and don't want. So I'll give you my opinion on what it is. We'll imagine a scenario on how and why people become lonely, and I'll give you tips on what you can do about it. So, when you Google the definition of loneliness, it tells you sadness is when no one has no friends or company. In the Oxford English Dictionary, it tells you it's a feeling of being unhappy because you have no friends or people to talk to. In Collins Dictionary, it tells you loneliness is the unhappiness that is felt by someone because they do not have any friends or do not have anyone to talk to. As you can see, point is the three common themes here are it's sadness and having no friends. So what is it to me? In conclusion, to me, how I see it is loneliness is when you're on your own, not being in contact with other human beings, and most importantly, not knowing when you'll have a friend or when next you'll be in contact with someone to speak to. See, that's the main point. Let me explain. Being lonely is fine. It's okay. If you know that at some point in time or today, tomorrow, in your future, someone's going to come and talk to you, or you will indeed be going back home to someone at the end of the day. Now, have you tried going back to an empty home and when you speak in there, it feels like your voice is echoing back at you as it bounces around the walls? Yes, it's a figure of speech, but have you been in a room or in an event or social gathering where no one wants to talk to you, doesn't address you properly, or gives you no intent of genuinely wanting to speak to you or be by your side? And sometimes, despite the fact that you already have friends who will talk to you later or afterwards, doesn't that immediately discomfort feeling, that discomfort feeling while you're lonely in the moment hurt you? Doesn't it make your throat dry and your belly hurt a little? Imagine celebrating a hard earned success with no one close to or share the moment with. Now, think about a human being out there in the world who has no friend at all at any point, no one they can let their feelings out to. They can't rely on anyone. And for this reason, they bottle up all their feelings because what's the point? No one cares or will hear them out anyway. And they just live in complete isolation, loneliness, and misery. Now that's tough. You see, I've thought about four ways on how loneliness can take place in our common lives, and even in those famous people's lives. Option A, you either had friends which you lost along the way for whatever reason, whether a petty or a fair reason. Or option B, you've gone through life and you're still at a position where you never had any friends. Believe it or not, that does happen, especially in college or high school. when you're young and you're maturing in life. Option C, sadly, you become older now and becoming elderly. Life has gone by, and sadly, you've lost your close ones along the way. Option D, you finally became successful and you made it to the top of all achievements, honors, and are so successful that the world applauds you and high fives you. You're being gloated by random fans and strangers who love everything you do. But then your close family and friends start feeling a certain way by your success and slowly detach themselves from you. I'm sure by now you do know that famous people feel lonely and isolated too, right? Life's greatest achievements isn't awards, rewards, or money. It's love, family, and friendship. People need each other. Now, what should you do? Number one, go outside and indirectly let the world know that you're lonely and need friends. What do I mean by this? Find a common activity that you enjoy doing and share those common interests with other people. You see, making friends doesn't have to be obvious. Sometimes it's more beautiful when it's discreet. Number two, if you are a rare species or full of confidence, tell someone that you are lonely and ask them if you can be in their company. Trust me, it works. You see, being shy never got you anywhere. So what's the difference here? You think people feel sorry for you? Wrong. People like honesty. And sometimes those same people you came to ask to be your friend weren't as brave as you and also wanted the same thing. So take the step. Number three, reach out to your friends. You haven't spoken to some of them in a long time. You have no idea what they're going through in your life. And just that one text message might spare them from loneliness. In conclusion, unwanted loneliness is difficult, okay? And mark my words, the probability of it coming into your life is higher than you could ever imagine. Keep this episode in mind. Next time you're feeling lonely or a certain feeling of discomfort, play back this episode. So that's it for today. If there are any topics you'd like to hear from us, let us know. Comment or reach out and give us reasons why you'd like to hear certain topics, and you might even get a shout out. And as always, remember, this podcast goes out to all ages, young and old, all walks of life. As always, if you could like, subscribe, or follow, that would be great. But even if you don't, at least share this with someone before it's too late. Someone you think needs to hear this more than you to date. Go and live life to the fullest. And please, don't wait. That was episode 29 about loneliness, peace, and unity. Out.